What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Now, we've talked about the Lightning going on to the final. Obviously, a great moment in Tampa. That good news for the Lightning. The bad news is, the Rangers. It's for the Rangers, obviously, for the New York Rangers. And the situation, the conundrum they have put themselves in. Obviously, they don't have a first-round pick this year. Ironically, the team that has it is Tampa. That's not the way you want it to be, but it gets worse. So how could it get any worse? Well, you got to look at their first-round picks. They haven't had a whole lot of them recently. The last time they had a first-round pick was 2012. They drafted Brady Shea, good, decent prospect out of the University of Minnesota. And then you look at trade away their 2013 pick to get Rick Nash, 14 and 15 to acquire Marty St. Louis, and then 16 to get Keith Yandel. And they've had some gems outside the first round. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you look at getting a Derek Stepan in the 2008 draft, even like Anthony Duclair in 2013. Then again, they go out and trade Duclair. So it's like, you got to watch the cupboard here. And again, being able to land a Kevin Hayes as an undrafted free agent, well, not undrafted, an unrestricted free agent, because he was a first round pick. Check. But that obviously was a bonus, but you can't rely on that happening on an annual basis. Now, maybe because they drafted Shea, because they get a few Minnesota connections, maybe they pull off a deal and land Mike Riley. I don't see that happening. I think it's Chicago or Minnesota essentially for Riley. But you can think about that. I mean, I'm not saying they're dead, so to speak, but they've really dug themselves a hole. And it's going to be tough to get out of it, especially with the draft picks, because, you can get those unrestricted free agents. You can get, hit on those second or third rounders. But those first round picks are a very, very valuable asset. And to just trade away a whole lot. And again, you look at the regular season success Rick Nash had this year. Obviously, no show in the playoffs. But, and then St. Louis showed his age. He's almost 40 years old. And then I thought Yandel played pretty well at times in the playoffs, but you knew what you were getting with Yandel. So there's going to be a lot of decisions to make. I mean, not having Zuccarello, kind of a tough blow in that series. I mean, he's a phenomenal offensive player. He can create, and I think he absolutely would have made a difference. But back to the salary cap. San Luis is a free agent. He could retire. Probably better off that he retires. My 2 cents. Derek Stepan, Carl Hagelin have both established themselves as legitimate NHL players. They're going to want a nice raise. JT Miller looked really good in the playoffs. He's going to need a bump up. I don't think he'll command too much. But, again, he'll demand a raise over what he's made on his entry-level deal. And I thought his play in the playoffs was spectacular, and he played a lot in Game 7 for good reason. James Shepard's a free agent, they'll let him walk. Jesper Fast, again, a similar situation to Miller, but obviously with Stepan and Carl Hagelin, you want to get those guys done. They've become key building blocks for you, and, still a lot of pieces to move around the board this summer. I mean, they got McDonough signed long-term. That's a good thing. Girardi and Stahl maybe signed a little too far long-term, likewise with Rick Nash. But, they've got the pieces there. They just got to retain those pieces. Would they move Cam Talbot first-round pick? Yeah, but no one's offering a first-round pick. Let's call that what it is. He's a 28-year-old goalie that's going to be an unrestricted free agent next summer. No one's even first for him. If they can get a draft pick back for him. But again, is it worth giving up, if you're the Rangers, worth giving up Talbot, who can step up and they lost Lundqvist for a little bit this season, Phil Hendrick's void, so to speak, for an extended period of time, for a third-round pick. I can't say that with absolute certainty. That's what you got to look at, and I think that they can make a stand next year. But beyond that, it's going to be tough. There are going to be a lot of tough decisions to make. Again, if they take care of the restricteds and move a few pieces around the board, I think they can be a great team and contend for the Cup next year. But beyond that, with the cap situation, not having a ton of first-round picks, and just other players getting older, other players being ineffective at times, there's going to be some tough decisions to make, so, we'll see what happens. But, going to be an interesting offseason this year in New York. Anyway, And that's like an episode of the Power Play with CJ on what's next for the Rangers. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.